To my professor, Mr. Edwin Turner, and my fellow students, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is such a special pleasure for me to present to you a topic that only within the past 2 months became important to me. I would like to thank everyone who has sacrificed the time to hopefully become aware of this devastating problem facing our citrus industry and have a share of my views on citrus screening as the main cause of decline in the citrus production world. The agricultural world is very well aware of this current cancer. However, the consumer factor is not. And my goal is that by the end of this presentation, you as a consumer and fellow Floridian walk away with a new perspective on our proud gift from Mother Nature. Our citrus needs protecting. There's no way around it. It's frightening that we've walked around as long as we have and didn't realize there was an issue. I have learned that citrus screening has been taking the citrus production world backwards. And by the end of the talk, I would expect every person to be able to have the knowledge of how to carry out preventing measures on citrus screening, as it's the only way to counteract the effects of the disease. Every person will be able to educate other people who are not viewing this in order to unite in fighting this notorious disease. Simply spread the word. Now, I came across this issue by chance. I was tired of buying California citrus from my local grocer when I live in Florida. And my neighbor's trees aren't producing, my tree isn't producing, and it was frustrating. So one afternoon, I visited the farmer's market on Beaver Street and happened to meet a gentleman by the name of Mark. And Mark is the produce manager at the market, has over 20 years working in the produce field. And when he asked me what he could help me with, I don't think he was prepared for what I hit him with. I hit him with my troubling question of, why do I live in Florida, yet I can't find good Florida oranges in the stores anymore? The drip down your chin, double paper towel, delicious, sweet, good oranges that we're all so proud of. Why are they always dry? Why are they mealy? Why do they don't look like they're getting ripe? Or if they look ripe when you peel them, they're dry. What's going on? And that was all it took. That was my introduction to citrus screening. Now, having the knowledge on symptoms of citrus screening is important for us to be in a position to take the correct measures whenever they appear. Symptoms for citrus screening can be found throughout the year, but they are more visible from September to March. Since the effects are on the entire tree from leaves to the twigs to the fruits, symptoms can be traced in those parts. Now, specifically on the leaves, what to look for are blotchy mottle, vein corking, green islands, and yellow veins. Now, of the above symptoms, the best diagnostic for citrus screening is the blotchy mottle. You can diagnose leaf symptoms using that. The other ones, the vein corking, green islands, and yellow veins, can be symptomatic of other citrus diseases. The blotchy mottle is indicative specifically of citrus greening. Now, the symptoms are not only on the leaves, but also on the fruits, of course. And the infected fruits have a lopsided appearance or turn to be smaller than normal. And the way that Mark showed me was, we went to a stand and he grabbed an orange and then he grabbed a regular size navel orange. And then what he grabbed was what I believe to be a lemon. But it was a super small lemon. It had to be a Meyer lemon maybe. And he said, picture these two things growing on the exact same tree. They're both oranges. This is what it would look like on the tree. So that's how you know. The smaller fruit. Okay. So you have lopsided appearance, smaller than normal. And this knowledge is important for self-identification in order to aid in the fight against the citrus greening. Now, to add on to that, citrus greening has had effects both to the citrus industry and economy in general. Economically, the disease imposes impacts in 3 ways. According to Hodges and Spreen, one of the ways is tree mortality to the citrus tree. The tree dies. Secondly, the disease reduces marketable citrus yield per tree. It produces less fruit. Production of citrus goes down. The yields drop below the expected volume. You lose money. Thirdly, I don't know what that one was. I'll get back to that. Now, I know every citrus consumer has felt the effects of citrus greening. It's a disease, once it infects citrus trees, it has no cure, leaving us with only one option of fighting with the bacteria. It is advisable to adopt preventative measures in order to counteract the spread of the disease. And according to Ramos, some of the preventative measures of the disease include testing it under different temperatures. And after study, it is possible to establish the right temperatures favorable for the bacteria to survive. This is significant as it provides the starting point in determining if it will be possible to either lower or raise the temperatures to extremes that do away with the bacteria. So when the temperatures are unfavorable, the bacteria cannot survive. And another way of fighting citrus greening is through evaluating thermotherapy of citrus greening in laboratories. Different insecticides are tested in the lab, and the most effective combination is then implemented in the field. Now, apart from the above ways, there are also cheap ways of dealing with citrus greening. Preventing or killing the vector responsible for igniting the disease to action can be a short-term solution, which is basically code for you set the grove on fire. Now, what do you do if you think that you have an infected tree? The U.S. and Florida Departments of Agriculture together have asked that if you suspect a tree may be infected, that you do not bring or send samples to any location. They respectfully ask that instead you contact your local county extension office and ask them if it would be possible to send an agent out to your property. If you are not happy with that answer, you may also contact the state helpline for assistance. Finally, I would like to thank everyone for the time and patience you have given me. I hope the information I provided you will give you a new perspective as fellow Floridians the next time you walk past a citrus tree or wonder where all the Florida oranges have gone. Thank you for your time.